Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence.com. Today we're taking a look at this ink. This is a special ink for the St. Louis Pin Show in 2019. Last year was the first year of the St. Louis Pin Show, and they began a series. It seems like they might have these a lot, of KWZ inks called Meet Me in St. Louis that are different colors and indexed by year. So last year was a very nice teal. Go back a year and look at my review for that one. This one I think I like way better. This is very cool. As you can see in the bottle, it's kind of it looks kind of reddish in here. This is of course just a sample vial. This will come in the standard 60 ml KWZ vials. I did a short and skinny review for this one. You're going to need to get this one probably at the St. Louis Pin Show, or find somebody who can mule you a bottle, or I don't know, look sharp online, because sometimes there are a few extra bottles and they'll put them online. But this one might be hard to get. So this one obviously is a very cool color, and I'm honestly not entirely sure how to categorize it. I've seen it called caramel. I've seen it called butterscotch. It looks sort of brownish red, like red clay dirt to me. But I really like this sort of color family where you've got this orangey, browny, reddish mixture in there. And I've been using it in this pen. This is a Platinum 3776 Kumpo, Kumpoo. I think it's pronounced Kumpo. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, but I think that's what it is. And this is a beautiful pen, and it has a soft medium nib on it, which is quite nice. There we go. I had to get this one adjusted a little bit. Audrey fixed it up for me, and now it writes beautifully. And I really like this ink in there. It's the only pen I've had this ink in, actually, and I like it a lot. You get a lot of different character out of this ink, especially when you're using a soft nib, because you get sort of very good flow. This ink seems like it's on the sort of wet side, and the performance is actually not great on the bad 20-pound paper. This is it's a little unfortunate, but also like, what do you want? You know, this is a fairly wet nib with a fairly wet ink, and this paper, this is that Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled paper, which is inconsistent and found in every office, it seems. And I got a fair amount of bleed through, but really the problem is that it just sort of seems to spread a lot for me. And you get like a little bit of feathering and stuff. Not too much in terms of feathers, like the ends of lines and things. But for me, the spread just makes it look kind of unattractive here, unfortunately. Fortunately, if you're using this ink, like, put it on some decent paper and you'll have a great time, because it looks really good. We'll look at a couple other papers here in just a sec. As far as qualities, there is no sheen detectable here, but you do get a fair amount of shading, especially from this pen. I got a lot. And then, as I say here, this is a limited release. There's only going to be 150 of these bottles, and they're 60 mils, and they'll probably go for like $15. I actually didn't confirm that with the St. Louis Pin Show folks, but probably $15 what these usually go for. And I've listed it here as a rich caramel colored ink, and I think that's pretty accurate. It looks kind of like caramel, and actually I think I owe that to Aziza Asgalari from Gourmet Pens, because she posted a thing on Instagram with this, and she's like, it's caramel. I'm like, that's not what caramel looks like. And so I googled up what caramel's supposed to look like, and it's kind of this color. I'm just used to that terrible parade candy caramel that they throw out, and it's like a little, I don't know, orange brick. That's not what caramel's supposed to look like, it turns out. So anyway, this might be kind of caramely. Let's get a little bit of a water test here, and then we'll look at a couple of different papers, and we'll look at some similar ink colors, that sort of jam. Oh, and some chromatography. The chromatography is cool. Okay. Now let's get a little bit of a shimmy, get some on the words there. There we go. All right, that's as reckless as I want to be. And then now let's get this out of here. Sop it up. Let's stick into the page. There we go. Really, Rhodia is one of the few papers I feel comfortable doing this in, and like, I haven't torn this out. It's still in a block of pads, but this is nice coated paper, and so nothing comes through the other side. Pretty crazy. All right, so no real water resistance, although you can see the hashes, dots, and I think make out the lettering there. So it wouldn't be a total loss, but not much in the way of resistance. All right, this is the chromatography for this ink. And this is very cool. You get this like grayish line down here that's like this undertone where the ink started, and then up here just like reds and oranges. A little bit of yellow in there maybe, but that's about it. And then you just get this like cool like grayish base layer. I don't know what that comes from, but it's pretty neat. Maybe this was made with like a hint of brown or something. This is like an underlying tint in the brown. Who knows? Chromatography is always cool and tells you some interesting things. Okay, let's look at this on some papers. Here it is on Tomoe River in an ink journal, and you can see here that it looks really nice. You get all kinds of shading and such in here, including sort of the tops of letters. You can actually see where I begin and end letters if you look closely, because the pen will sort of start putting down ink and then pull the ink along with it on this Tomoe River. So pretty neat stuff. It looks good here. All right, here is a currently inked journal. This is wheat straw paper, and there it is. There's Fire Opal, which is kind of close. But then here is the KWZ Meet Me in St. Louis 2019 from the Compo. And I think it's beautiful on this wheat straw paper too. I really like this ink. I think it's going to be a hit. A big hit. All right, here we are. Let's look at some comparisons. This is a Colodex card. You can find these online at lots of retailers and at wellappointeddesk.com. They're done by my friend Anna Reiner. Here's one that's a little bit, I think, way more orangey red than this. So if you're like, this looks like orangey red, well, this is an orangey red even more. This is Colorverse Tango. Similarly, we've got Cult Pen's Deep Dark Orange. I don't really have anything that's exactly the same as this, so we're going to look sort of around the color spectrum at it. This is definitely more orange than here. Also got, this is Robert Oster's Red Orange, which is getting a little bit closer. This is definitely more brown than this, though. Then we've got here, this is Califolio Itzamna, which is one that I've been using recently. I've had it in a pen forever, and I just kind of never used it because I didn't love the nib. And so I fixed up the nib. Well, Audrey fixed up the nib for me, and now I quite like it. Close, but more orangey than this one. We've also got here, this one is not very close at all, but I just wanted to show it anyway because unless you think it's an orangey yellow, this is Roaring Cleaner's Sketch Ink Carmen. It's one of the few sketch inks that I didn't really care for. It's just kind of too light, really, for me. And you can see the writing there. It's just a little bit weak sauce, I think. But it does make a cool splatter. Look at that. It really made a mess there. And then here's Diamine's SBRE Brown. So if you're thinking, no, this is a brown. Well, this is more of a brown. It's like a sepia. Well, it's actually much, I think, darker than a sepia, but whatever. This one's way more brown than this one. This is more of a reddish brown. This is more of a, maybe a yellowish brown. I don't really know how to categorize browns when it comes right down to it. And then lastly, Three Oysters Huang To, I'm going to guess. I got this one from my buddy David Figboot Parker. And this one is definitely more tan than this. So like I said, I don't really have anything that's the same as this. I was thinking maybe like Franklin Christoph's old Terra Firma would be close, but it wasn't even close enough to take the card out. I was thinking that maybe some of the Monteverdes were pretty close, but none of them were really close enough to take the card out. So anyway, this is a very interesting ink color. Well worth checking out, I think. So if you're able to go to the St. Louis Pen Show, make sure that you pick up a bottle of St. Louis, Meet Me in St. Louis 2019 from KWZ. Here's the other thing about KWZ. They do have a bit of a scent. KWZ is known for having this sort of like a vanilla scent to them. I think it's actually quite pleasant, but other people disagree. So if you're very sensitive to scented inks, I'm not sure what it is that makes it smell like vanilla, but it definitely does a bit. So there you go. I can't smell it in the pen, but in the bottle, whoo! Anyhoozle, that's that. I will see y'all later. Peace out. This is nice coated paper. So anyway, there you go. That's on Tomoe River. And then, wait, did I have that upside down? Why did I have this upside down? Here it is in Tomoe River.